Dear students, today's topic is bank finance for farmers. The session plan is that first we will introduce you to the topic and then we will tell you the present position, then formal institutions, then informal institutions, type of credits, various schemes, securities and subsidy linked credit, importance of timely repayment, rephasing of loans, interest rates, project report, regulating agencies, efficient utilization of credit, role of technology and extension, misuse of credit, and way ahead. Finally, we will sum up. As you know that agriculture is a different type of occupation. In this occupation, the returns are coming only after a long period. That is a production cycle. When a farmer grows some crops, he will get its return only after 4 or 5 months. Meanwhile, he has to invest in form of labor, some ingredients like seeds or fertilizers, and the energy requirement like diesel. All are required throughout the production cycle. And as you know that income is also uncertain because lot of internal and external factors are there, which we have discussed in several sessions. And whatever modern farming methods are there, they require lot of inputs. They require fertilizers, they require seeds which are to be purchased from market, and these things are not generated in the process which was not there earlier when the traditional farming practices were there. And farmer requires money to purchase all these inputs. Therefore, sometimes he requires credit or money from outside agencies because the surplus which is generated by the last crop may not be enough to meet his expenses or the requirements for purchase of inputs. In this case, farmer has no choice but to approach bank, or if bank is not there, then he approaches money lenders. And as we have told that income generation is not fixed, it is depending on various factors. So farmers are not able to repay the loan in time. And when institutional credit is not there, they are compelled to take loans from the money lenders. And the interest rates charged by these money lenders are very high. And the farmers are trapped. And sometimes these interests could be between 2 to 6% per month. And at the time of giving money, these money lenders, they deduct the first installment along with principal from the money given. Therefore, the interest rate becomes further high. Government has realized this situation and they have taken a lot of steps so that farmers can be taken out of the debt trap. And nationalization of bank, as you know, it was a first step towards increasing the reach of banks. Now, lot of branches, thousands of branches have been opened in various areas and especially rural and semi-urban areas. These branches are approachable within the village limits, and village people or farmers can approach banks now. In order to ensure that credit facilities are available to farmer, our regulator Reserve Bank has fixed that certain specific amount of their lending must go for priority sector, and out of that something should go for agriculture. Government is also supporting farmers because they are producing grains for us, and government is giving interest subsidy. And NABARD is giving funds to these banks by way of refinance so that farmers can be given credit at the cheaper interest as compared to the commercial rates. So government want that entire rural population should come under banking network, and lot of programs for financial inclusion are being run, and the success rate is also very high, and people are coming forward and they are opening their accounts. The present position as related to credit, we can see cooperative banks 57,500 crores. These are the figures for latest 2009-10. Regional rural banks 34,456 crores. Commercial banks 2,74,963 crores, and in total 3,66,919 crores. It is the figure of rural credit or agriculture credit during 2009-10. And total number of Kisan credit cards which have been issued is 90.64 million. So we can see that this sector is growing at a faster rate, and it is about 18%. There are institutions which we may call formal institutions like commercial banks or regional rural banks, cooperative banks, land development banks, which are now called state agriculture and rural development banks. They are in the cooperative sector, non-banking financial companies, ADFCs and SFCs. All these are the formal institutions which are financing this sector. And there are informal sources which may include traditional money lenders, then adatiyas which are buying the produce and then reselling it, and then contract buyers are there who enter into contract with the farmer in the beginning. Then landlords are there who are giving their land on lease, and input suppliers are there who give the inputs on the credit basis. Then bulk buyers are there who buy the crop as a primary thing required for their production. So they also give credit to farmers so that farmers will directly sell their output to them. And then sugar factories and processing units are also sometimes giving credit to farmer for their own purposes. There are many types of credits as far as agriculture is concerned. First is production credit. It is also called short-term loan, and this is extended to farmers for day-to-day requirement. It means growing the crops for agriculture crops and the other allied activities. And another is investment or long-term credit. This is given to farmers to meet capital expenditure and related expenditure for agriculture and other allied activities. And benefit of investment is extended over a longer time interval. It means the benefit of long-term credit will be running from 5 to 7 years or more. In some cases, it may be up to 20 years. And whatever interest is charged or time duration of credit is there, it is based on the activity and not specific. And economic life of the project which is being financed is also considered. In addition to that, there are certain tailor-made credits, and they are also extended to farmers. It is need-based. There are loans against hypothecation of gold. Housing loan is there. It is given for purchase or construction of house. There are loans under government employment generation schemes, and there are loans given to self-help groups. And sometimes in difficult periods, the farmers are also given consumption loans. We can see that variety of schemes are there under which farmers can avail credit for their benefit. Now we will discuss the various schemes which are available under which farmers can avail credit for their benefit. First is the schemes which are run by commercial banks, cooperative banks, regional rural banks and other institutions. All these institutions are giving credit to rural people, and the names may be different. The same scheme for animal husbandry, it may be called Pashu Sambardhan Yojana, or sometimes it is called by different names. Similarly, different schemes related to dairy, they are also called by the different names, but general purposes are almost same. Now we will discuss one by one the common features of the popular and useful credit schemes offered by the various banks, but it doesn't mean that nothing more than that is available. Lot of things other than these schemes are also offered by banks, but these are the popular schemes and most of the finance goes under these heads only. There may be minor differences between terms and conditions offered by various banks, and the terms referred here, they are general terms. First and very popular scheme is Kisan Credit Card. As name suggests, it is a credit card which is meant for farmers. The purpose is very clear, that it was understood by government and the banks that filling up the forms and the procedure for taking loan is quite cumbersome, and farmer has to spend lot of time for that. Therefore, this Kisan Credit Card scheme was launched. The purpose, as you know, is timely and adequate credit to farmer so that he can meet the cultivation expenses, and sometimes he can meet the urgent expenses also. The expenses related to ancillary activities through simple procedure facilitating release of loans as and when required. So farmer will be at ease whenever he requires money, he can take. Who is eligible? First of all, owner farmers who own the land, then tenant farmers. It means those who have taken land on lease, and there are sharecroppers, you know, who share the production with the owner. Then agriculture borrowers who have good track record of last 2 years. Good track record means those who are repaying their loans in time. And new borrowers can also be financed depending on certain terms and conditions. Then loan amount. The loan amount which is given under this scheme, it is based on land holding. It means whatever amount of land the farmer is holding and he is owner of that. Then cropping pattern, because different crops require different amount of money. And then ancillary and contingency needs of farmer for 1 year. 100% of cultivation cost is available as loan up to 50,000. 85% of cost of loan above rupees 50,000. Then expenses to meet important ancillary activities to production can also be financed. This can be hiring of equipment or any other thing. The total limit under this scheme is inclusive of 20% of production credit, which includes crop production expenses. The working capital for allied agriculture activities and as contingency credit or consumption loan is also added for working out the requirement. The security is very minimal. It is hypothecation of crops for loans up to 50,000. Above rupees 50,000 and up to 10 lakhs, up to 1 lakh, it is hypothecation of crops and mortgage of land or third party guarantee. Above rupees 1 lakh, it is hypothecation of crops and mortgage of the land. So depending on the requirement, depending on the amount for which the card has been issued, the requirement of security are different. For loans up to 1 lakh to farmers having legal ownership of land with good track record for last 2 years, no collateral is required. Now we will come to repayment. It is a revolving cash limit with any number of withdrawals and repayments and is valid for 3 years. For application, the farmers may contact the nearby bank branch engaged in agriculture advances.
Farmers in Uttarakhand can now avail loans from banks through Kisan credit cards. Indian government has equipped the farmers of Kuria village in Nainital with credit cards to help them take loans for seeds, manure, fertilizers and other necessities. Thus, this facility has freed the farmers from the cumbersome process of getting loans from village money lenders.
पहले हमें बड़ी परेशानी होती थी खाद बीज लेने के लिए हमें इधर उधर भागना पड़ता था, साहूकारों से लोन लेना पड़ता था। जब से ये बना है तब से हम सीधे बैंक से हमें समय पर ऋण मिल जाता है।
Farmers are very happy with credit card scheme as they get adequate and timely support from the banks for their cultivation needs, including purchase of agricultural equipments, land development, buying farm machinery and other needs.
इससे पहले हम सारे किसान मिलके बैंकों में गए। हमने बैंकों में खुद क्रेडिट कार्ड बनाने के लिए मैनेजर साहब से बात करी, सारे लोगों ने बनाए, जिससे सभी काश्तकार लाभान्वित हैं।
This facility is fast getting popular among farmers. More and more farmers in neighbouring villages are also availing this scheme.
আরে ভাই ভরকু, বীজ কীটনাশক সার এত খরচের ব্যবস্থা কোত্থেকে?
আরে খরচের চিন্তা কোথায়, আমার কাছে আছে এই কিষান ক্রেডিট কার্ড। ব্যাংক দ্বারা জারি কার্ড দিয়ে কৃষক নিজের সীমা পরিমাণ টাকা যে কোনো সময় বার করতে পারে। চাষবাসের সামগ্রীও যে সময় কিনতে পারে। দেনা দেওয়ার আর কোনো চিন্তা নেই। বিদ্যুৎ বিল মেটানোর থেকে ডিজেল কেনা পর্যন্ত এখন সবকিছুই খুব সোজা হয়ে গেছে।
ভাই ভরকু, আমার জন্য একটা ক্রেডিট কার্ডের বন্দোবস্ত করে দাও না।
আরে কাছাকাছি কোনো ব্যাংকে গিয়ে যোগাযোগ করো আর পাও প্রচুর লাভ।
The next very popular scheme is produce marketing loan. As we know that whenever a bumper harvest is there or a season of harvest is there, the farmer has to sell his crop to get money, and sometimes he is not paid remunerative amount for that crop. So in order to protect the farmers from this type of distress sale, this scheme has been launched, and it enables the farmer the quick repayment of the crop loan dues by taking this loan, and it provides good liquidity to the farmers. It also offers the facility of loan against the produce stored in farmhouse or against warehouse receipt. It means if farmers after harvesting is storing the crop in his own house or in the warehouse and he has a proper receipt for that, he can avail this type of credit. All non-defaulter farmers who have borrowed money from the bank and repaid it timely, they are eligible for this type of loan. And the farmers who can store produce either in their own premises or in a warehouse or cold storage, they are also eligible. It means that farmers who are growing potato, they will be eligible for such type of loan because they are keeping the produce in a cold storage. The loan amount under this scheme is 60 to 80% of value of produce, and it is depending on the place of storage, subject to a maximum of 10 lakhs. There are some documents which are required under this scheme, and first document is stock statement for valuation, then evidence of stocks at farmer's residence or godown. Because the bank is financing against stocks, all these documents are required. Then warehouse receipt is required, which should be duly endorsed if the produce has been stocked at a warehouse. This loan is not as simple as Kisan credit card. Then there are some security also. Loan which is sanctioned to farmer against the goods stored, first is primary security is hypothecation of stocks. Then a collateral. Collateral is mortgage or charge over land or a third party guarantee for loans which are above rupees 50,000. And then there are loans which are sanctioned against warehouse receipt. In this case, primary is pledge of the stocks, and collateral, no collateral is required for loans up to a maximum permitted limit of 10 lakhs under this scheme. because produce is considered as safe in a warehouse. Another scheme which was launched recently is General Credit Card. It is different from a Kisan Credit Card. First, we will tell you the purpose. Purpose of this scheme is to provide credit to farmers or rural people based on the assessment of cash flow and without insisting any security, any purpose or end use of the credit. So basically, you will appreciate that this scheme has been launched so that farmers they are not compelled to go to the money lenders. As far as eligibility is concerned, all existing customers of the bank who are having satisfactory track record and maintained a deposit account including no field deposit account with the bank, then loan amount accounts which are classified as standard assets, they will be eligible for availing loan under this scheme. And GCC facility should, however, not be extended to the KCC borrowers. It means those who have KCC and availing this facility, they will not be given GCC. There is no security requirement for this scheme, and since the account will be in nature of cash credit, then any time repayment can be done. But the outstanding amount, whatever is there, it should be cleared when a person has cash, which may be at yearly or half yearly, quarterly or monthly intervals. It is based on the occupation of the applicant. It means what is the pattern of income generation of the applicant. If he can earn monthly income like dairy, then he will give the money every month. In case the amount is not paid, a minimum of 20% amount should be paid along with interest for continuation of this facility. The farmers or other persons of the rural area, they can contact their nearest bank branch for issue of this card. Next scheme is a loan for landless farmers. All these schemes have been introduced recently for helping the landless farmers, poor people and those who cannot give collateral or securities. The scheme is meant to provide short-term production and consumption credit. Short-term credit means, as I have already explained, the credit for the growing of the crops. And genuine requirements of tenant farmers, sharecroppers and oral leases are also considered. It will help in increasing their income from the agriculture production activities. Country will also be benefited in this, and they will also be benefited though they are not owners of the land. Eligibility under this scheme is landless labor, sharecroppers, tenant farmers, overleases, those who are having no recorded land in their name. But they should have a permanent residential address and proof for the same that they are residing in the village for the last 2 years. The maximum amount of loan which can be given under this scheme is 50,000, and out of which for consumption purpose, it means meeting their urgent needs, is rupees 10,000. And very minimum amount of documents are required. One is proof of residence, another is proof of identity and affidavit in the format prescribed by the banks. As far as security is concerned, there is no security. And the farmers can visit the nearest banking branch, or nowadays many representative of banks are also visiting there in the villages, and they can also contact them. Next scheme is agriculture gold loans. The purpose of the scheme is to finance farmers against the gold ornaments or gold wares, because traditionally people in India, they are keeping some amount of gold for their safety. And aim is to increase liquidity and meet the production expenses, investment expenses related to agricultural and allied activities. As far as eligibility is concerned, anybody who is engaged in agriculture or allied activities like dairy farming can take this loan. And 70% of the value of the ornament is available as loan. Security, as you know, it will be pledge of the gold ornaments. It will be a running account for a period of 3 years, and the repayment of the loan should be fixed so as to coincide with the harvesting or marketing season. As the loan is given to farmers, banks always consider that they will be able to pay amount only after harvesting season, and total period will not exceed 1 year from the disbursement of the loan in case of short term and 3 years in other cases. And farmers have to contact the nearest branch which is dealing in the agriculture credit. One very important scheme introduced recently is the scheme for debt swapping. The purpose is to extend loans to the farmers who have taken loans from non-institutional lenders like money lenders, so that they can come out of clutches. The farmers will not be in distress to meet their crop production needs. All existing farmer borrowers as well as other farmers of the operational area of the branch, they are eligible for this loan. The scheme will be for the farmers owning land. It means landless are not covered in this scheme. The quantum of loan granted shall be 100% if the debt is on the amount of cultivation or agriculture activity with a maximum of 50,000. Documents required under this are very simple. First is the affidavit as per bank format, then a letter from earlier lender confirming all the facts mentioned in the affidavit. The security will be charged over the assets and documents pledged with the non-institutional lenders. Dues of non-institutional lenders are cleared obtaining documents, and they have to give the documents back. Collateral securities by charge on the agriculture property shall be taken for this loan. And repayment under this scheme is under half yearly or yearly installments in 3 to 5 years. Next scheme is purchase of land. The purpose of this scheme is to assist small and marginal borrowers and landless laborers to purchase land. And another purpose is that it can check the fragmentation of land holdings, and it can also result in development of wasteland and fallow land. All small and marginal farmers who have less than 5 acres of unirrigated or 2.5 acres of irrigated land in their own name, they are eligible. And the borrower should have a track record of proper repayment of loans earlier taken. The loan amount which is disbursed under the scheme is cost of land, provision of irrigation facilities, land development, and purchase of farm equipment. Registration charges and stamp duty are also financed under the scheme. Loan amount under this scheme will be 85% of the cost of land, and maximum money given under this is 5 lakhs. Security is the mortgage of the land which is proposed to be purchased. The amount must be repaid within 9 to 10 years beginning after the gestation period, and half yearly installments are fixed because generally farmers grow 2 crops. And gestation period is 1 year for developed land, and if the land is not developed, then it will be 2 years. Next scheme is setting agri clinics and agri business center. The scheme has been formulated for providing self-employment opportunities to the persons who are technically qualified and make their services available to the farmers. All agriculture graduates in subjects allied to agriculture like horticulture, animal husbandry, forestry, dairy, veterinary, poultry, fisheries, they are all eligible. The activities which are eligible under this scheme, they are seed processing, plant tissue culture labs, vermiculture units, biofertilizers, biopesticides, beekeeping, bee products, processing units, agency of agriculture insurance services, soil and water testing labs, pest services, pest surveillance and diagnostic and control services, maintenance, repair and custom hiring of agriculture implements, micro irrigation systems, hiring of micro irrigation systems, agriculture service centers, setting up of cold chains for farm marketing of the loan, the produce, post-harvest management centers for sorting, grading or storage and packing, setting up of metallic or concrete storage structures, then retail marketing outlets for the processed products, rural marketing of farm inputs or outputs, then any combination of two or more activities indicated. Provision of extension and consultancy services, hatcheries are also included. Setting up of information technology kiosk and animal feed processing unit, value addition units are all financed under this scheme. Individually, for one activity up to maximum 10 lakhs can be financed, but if a person selects group of activities, maximum 50 lakhs can be financed under this scheme. In case of group projects, if the group consists of 5 or more persons, all except one should be agriculture graduates, and loan amount up to 5 lakhs is 100% and above 5 lakhs is 85% of the cost. There is soft loan assistance available which is given by NABARD without any interest under this scheme. The subsidy is also available for this scheme, which is at the rate of 25% of the capital cost of the project funded through bank loan. And the subsidy will be 33.33% in respect of borrowers which are belonging to SC, ST, women and those who are women categories and those from northeastern and hill states. In addition to above, full interest subsidy will be eligible for first 2 years of the project. Capital subsidy will be back-ended and minimum for 3 years lock-in period. Security up to 5 lakhs will be hypothecation of assets and above 5 lakhs will be hypothecation of assets created and mortgage of land or a third party guarantee. The loan taken under this scheme should be repaid between 5 to 10 years with a grace period of maximum 2 years. Those who are interested, they can contact the nearest branch with their certificates of experience and qualification. And a very popular scheme is dairy units. This scheme is running from last 2-3 decades, and the purposes under which the loan is available is for construction of shed, purchase of milk animal, milking machine, chaff cutter, etc. All individual farmers or who are member of milk processing societies and less than of 65 years age, they are eligible. Individual dairy units having less than 10 animals should have a minimum 0.25 acre of land for every 5 animals for growing fodder, and individual dairy units having 10 animals and above should own a land of 1 acre for cultivation of fodder for every 5 animals. In case they do not own the land, they should lease it. The loan amount under the scheme is 100% of the cost up to 50,000, 90% of cost above 50,000, a maximum of 5 lakhs as term loan. Working capital facility is also available, which is 2,500 per animal per year, and it can be sanctioned for purchase of feed, fodder and machines. Hypothecation of assets created for loans up to 1 lakh and as security, and for loans over 1 lakh, mortgage of landed property or third party guarantee is taken as security. The loan should be paid in monthly installments over a period of 5 lactations of the animals. Monthly installments have been fixed because the income under dairy schemes comes, I think, weekly and sometimes even daily. Another scheme which draws a lot of farmers is the scheme for financing farm machinery. Banks are extending this financial assistance for purchase of farm machinery like implements, threshers, sprayers, both mechanical and motorized, bullock carts, etc. The farmers cultivating land are eligible for this loan. The loan amount up to 50,000, it is 100% of the cost, and for above 50,000, it is 90% of the cost of the assets purchased. As in our loans, security for up to 50,000, it is hypothecation of the assets created out of bank finance, and for the loans above 50,000, hypothecation of assets created and charge over the land. Some documents are required, which are land records and quotation for the assets which are proposed to be purchased. And these amounts are to be repaid in half yearly or yearly installments, which are dependent on the harvest of the crops, and maximum period is 7 years. Then comes the tractor loan. Tractor loans, as you know, they are given to farmers who for purchase of new tractors, accessories and implements. There are schemes under which second-hand tractors can also be financed. As far as eligibility is concerned, individual or jointly farmers can take loan under this scheme, and the persons who are offering NSCs or Kisan Vikas Patra or bank fixed deposits or LIC policy, they are also eligible. Some banks have different criteria over the land. Some banks insist for 4 acres of the land owning for under this scheme, but there are different criteria followed by different banks. The loan amount is up to 95% of the cost of tractor, trailer and the accessories required, and registration charges also includes, and insurance premium is also paid for this purpose, which should not be more than 15,000. Banks are only financing the models which have been passed the test from the organizations like Central Farm Machinery Training and Testing Institute, Budni, which is located in Madhya Pradesh, or Farm Machinery Training and Testing Institute in Hisar. The tractor purchase should be hypothecated as security, or if the implements have been purchased, they are also taken as security. And bank hypothecation is also noted in the RC book of the tractor. Collaterals like NSC, KVP or fixed deposits, LIC policy, etc., they are taken. This loan should be repaid within a period of 9 years, and grace period of 2 years is available. Next scheme is related to irrigation, and under this farmers are financed for purchase of equipments related to minor irrigation. Under this scheme, their loan is available for digging of wells, bore wells or deepening of wells, anodization of wells with the help of oil engine or electrical engine, installation of drip or sprinkler irrigation systems, and under this the farmers having a source of water for which is available for development are eligible. And up to 50,000, 100% of the project cost is financed, and for above 50,000 only 85% of the project cost is financed. Some documents are required under this scheme. First is land record, then quotation for the equipments which are proposed to be purchased, then estimates for the civil works if they are required, and in some cases geologist certificate is also required. Under this scheme, if the loan is up to 10,000, the personal guarantee is taken as security. above 10,000 personal guarantee and mortgage of the land, where movable assets are created up to 50,000 hypothecation of assets created, and above 50,000 hypothecation of assets and mortgage of land. This was about minor irrigation, and lot of finance is going under this head. Next very popular scheme is poultry loans, and these can be taken by existing farmers and new entrepreneurs. And the loan includes construction of poultry shed, feed room, and purchase of equipments which are required. Under this scheme, the farmer should have experience or they should have undergone a training for poultry farming, and they must possess land for construction of poultry shed, and it should be at least 500 meters away from any existing poultry farm, and potable water source should also be available near to the unit. The minimum flock size under this scheme is 5,000 birds, and financing is also done for 10 to 15,000 birds or part or more. The loan amount is 75% of the cost and up to 3 lakhs for every 5,000 birds. The loan amount under the scheme will be 9 to 10 lakhs per farmer maximum. Though there are processing schemes are also which have many components, and under those schemes more amount can be sanctioned. And for security, the assets created are hypothecated and land is taken as mortgage. Poultry shed and other infrastructure created is also mortgaged. This scheme is running from last 20-30 years, and it is very successful, and it has contributed to increase in the production of the eggs and also the poultry meat. Then a scheme is for creation of the capital assets like rural godowns. All of us know that there is a lot of shortage of the storage space in the rural area. The scheme was launched for creating scientific storage of the grains and also for preventing distress sale of the produce by the farmers, so that farmers can get good price. And it is also promoting pledge financing and marketing credit. Any individual or farmer is eligible. Cooperative agro-processing or cooperative societies are also eligible. Group of farmers or growers, NGOs and self-help groups are also eligible under this scheme for finance. The godowns can be constructed in any area outside a municipal limit, and rural godowns located in food parks are also eligible under this scheme. The loan amount is not fixed, and it depends on the project cost, and one of the attractive part is that government subsidy is also available for the project, and this subsidy is back end subsidy, and subsidy amount depends on the type of borrowers and the location of the borrower and capacity of the godown which is proposed to be proposed to be made. And banks will finance up to 80% of the project cost, and land is to be mortgaged as a security, and the godown is also taken as security. In order to popularize the organic farming, the loans are also available for this purpose. Manufacturing of organic inputs such as biofertilizers, vermicompost, fruits and vegetable waste are considered for finance. Individuals, group of farmers, growers, cooperatives, NGOs are eligible, and existing units can also take finance for expansion and renovation. Under this, 50% of the project cost is given as bank loan, 25% of cost will be provided as subsidy from government. Cost of project depend on the location, capacity and technology used. And under this scheme, repayment is 8 to 10 years and a grace period of 2 years is allowed. A new scheme has been launched for repairs, maintenance and addition of new implements. And purpose of this scheme is to assist the farmers who are regular in their repayment for repairs and maintenance of the tractors. Borrowers who have already availed the tractor loan or power tiller or combined harvester, they are eligible for this loan, and their accounts for loan should have been closed or there should be a regular repayment. The quantum of loan under this scheme is 50,000, and for new implements it is up to maximum 1 lakh. Margin for up to 50,000 is nil, and above 50,000 the margin contributed by farmer should be within 15 to 25%. Hypothecation of the tractor should be taken as security, and noting of bank charge in the RC book is also taken as security. Then a scheme is also available for purchasing trucks and other transport vehicles. Under this scheme, loan is sanctioned for purchase of new trucks and vehicles like tempo, matador, jeeps, pickup vans, mini trucks, two-wheelers, etc. Under this scheme, tenants, farmers, oral leases or owners of the land, they are also eligible. They should be engaged in the farming activity or any activity allied to the farming. Loans for purchase of trucks is given to the farmers only in case they own the land more than 3 acres. And in case of purchase of light or medium vehicles, it is available for farmers who are owning more than 2 acres. Then a scheme which is for promoting environment is forestry development program. Under this, a term loan is provided for development of nursery, plantations and raising forestry trees up to their harvesting. Loan for intercropping is also given depending on the crop which is proposed to be grown. Under this scheme, farmers and owners who are having ownership, leasehold or perpetual tenancy rights over the land in their name, they are all eligible, and extent of finance is up to 100%. A scheme was made for development of the piggery, and it is also very successful in certain states, and purpose is for breeding and rearing of the pigs. Farmers and agriculture laborers are eligible for loan under this scheme, and person should be trained under this activity so that he can take the activity on commercial scale. This extent of loan is as per the actual needs, and repayment is to be done within a maximum period of 1.5 years. And if the farmer avails investment credit, and then it is to be paid in the yearly installments. And in case of entrepreneurs, a scheme is available for agri-business projects with venture capital assistance. The purpose of this scheme is to provide venture capital assistance to agri-business projects, assisting producer groups and organizations in formulation of economically viable agriculture projects. Eligibility under this scheme is different from the ordinary finance. In this case, it may be individual farmers, producer groups, self-help groups, agripreneurs, and units in agri-export zones and agriculture graduates are all eligible. And projects must be dependent on agriculture or allied produce. Projects will provide access to producers as assured market. It means that producers will also be benefited under this scheme. And projects will encourage farmers to diversify in high yielding crops. The intending project must be over 50 lakhs in size and rupees 25 lakhs in case of northeastern states or hilly areas. The projects recommended by state SFAC can be considered for higher assistance under the project development facility. The amount of venture capital assistance is also available, and it will be lowest of 10% of the project cost or 26% of project equity or 75 lakhs, lowest of the all. The repayment of the loan should be within 5 to 6 years, excluding the gestation period, which is different from loan to loan. This was all about various loan schemes. Now we will discuss about securities. Lot of debate is going on whether security should be taken in case of agriculture loans. Bankers, as per prevailing practices, they insist on security for sanction of any loan. However, farmers, landless people, members of weaker sections, they are not able to provide the same. Considering this, RBI has relaxed the norms for securities, collaterals for small loans, which we have already covered. Traditional securities which were earlier offered, they were land, house, gold, NSCs, fixed deposits or receipts. And in order to provide bank finance for low income group, now the banks are accepting assets created and the stocks of goods produced as security. The security norms have been further relaxed for financing self-help groups, joint liability groups, etc. And the norms have been relaxed for professionals who are coming forward with knowledge-based enterprises. Now we will describe you the subsidy linked credit. Sometimes the subsidy is linked to the credit for making popular any scheme. These activities or programs launched, they may not be viable at that time due to some problem. Similarly, some of the innovations or need-based activities like increasing storage capacity, they are promoted by government for overall growth of the Indian economy. The activities like organic farming, cultivation of medicinal plants, micro irrigation, solar energy, they are all on the priority list of the planners. In order to promote these activities, government is offering subsidy to farmers and entrepreneurs. Lot of experiments were done, and now in most of the cases the subsidy is now being routed through banks. And in order to prevent any misuse, back-end subsidy is now being provided, and the farmers can take advantage of these subsidy schemes and they can enhance their income. The information related to subsidy is available with the banks and the concerned department of state or central government. When we talk about finance, credit, loans, one very important thing is timely repayment. Because the institutions or banks, they provide loan to needy persons out of the deposits collected. And depositors' confidence in the banking system is very important if the banks have to function. And timely repayment of the loans will ensure that funds are recycled into the system. And viability of a venture, is affected if the burden of interest increases. So timely payment will result in increased credit absorption capacity of the farmers. And low overdue position encourages banks to pump more and more funds into this sector. Timely repayment is also more important in case of cooperative banks or regional rural banks because their fund base is small. And low overdue position in respect of loans sanctioned to self-help groups, it has resulted in increase in interest of the banks in this sector of financing to self-help groups. Now we will discuss about rephasing. The farmers, when they take loan, or the persons who appraise the loan, they take some assumptions, but sometimes these assumptions prove to be wrong and the farmers are not able to pay the loans due to natural calamities. In order to help the farmers, the banks are rephasing the loans and they are deferring the repayment so that farmers can repay the loans at their ease. Now we will tell you something about interest rates. As you know, interest is a primary source of income for banking sector, and earlier the rates were controlled by Reserve Bank of India. After liberalization, the banks were given powers to fix their own interest rate. But we know that agriculture is a priority sector and banks can avail refinance facility from NABARD for agriculture advances. And in this case, the interest charges are lower as compared to the commercial activity. And Government of India is also subsidizing interest charge on the short-term loans for boosting the farm sector and the economy. One important thing which should not be left is project report. Though the short-term loans are available without any project report, but for long-term loans or investment credit, project reports are required. Standard project reports are also prepared for some area-based schemes and which are being implemented in limited area. Project reports in respect of high investment are prepared by professionals. The farmers can also approach extension agencies, concerned government department, NABARD, DDMs and LDM office for guidance in this regard. As you know, formal sector is a regulated sector and there are regulating agencies. Reserve Bank of India is a regulator for entire banking sector and it is supervising operations of the banks. NABARD has been given a special responsibility for supervising and guiding rural credit institutions like cooperative banks and regional rural banks. Registrar Cooperative Society, which is a state government official, it has also wide-ranging powers in respect of cooperative banks. Reserve Bank of India has also appointed banking ombudsmen in all the states to look into the complaints of public. So people are in the safe hand and they can approach the agencies if there is any problem. One very important thing related to credit is efficient utilization. We have discussed that how much important is credit for agriculture sector, but it should be utilized efficiently to get full benefits. Farmers are advised to conduct proper market survey before buying any input or machinery because everything is not viable. Tractor loan is very high in amount, but sometimes if hiring is not possible or land is not sufficient to generate the surplus, the farmer will not be able to pay the installments. Therefore, farmers must utilize the credit efficiently and before taking anything, they should do a homework properly. There is a role of technology and extension in credit for utilization or proper utilization. We have already discussed in detail. Because farming is a high risk activity and use of right technology will reduce the risk and also it will ensure success of the venture. And extension agencies play a key role in transfer of the technology. Therefore, farmers must consult and visit extension agencies whenever they are going for a big loan. And present approach that what neighbor is doing, it should not be basis of any decision, otherwise they may land in the trouble. There is the issue of misuse of credit. Most of the farmers, they avail credit for productive purposes and they repay. But sometimes they also take credit for building house. This is also eligible activity. Sometimes due to some need, they also avail consumption loans. But there are instances where gross misuse of credit have been reported. Spread of consumerism to rural areas is one of the reasons of misuse of the credit. Sometimes people divert the credit for buying the consumer goods and they are sometimes diverting the loan for meeting the expenses related to marriage or health related expenses. You know, when amount is diverted or not invested, there will not be any increase in income and farmer will not be able to repay the loan. In such cases, the agencies are compelled to take coercive measure. It is therefore advisable that credit must be used for the purpose for which it was availed. We have gone through the entire scenario of the rural credit schemes and everything related to it. The agriculture credit for formal sources, you know, it is increasing at a fast rate. However, production is not increasing at the same rate. There could be some reasons. One is replacement of non-institutional credit by agencies like banks. There could be some misuse of the loans. There is some missing link, that is technology, marketing facilities and price realization. So the need of hour is that we must identify the missing link and take suitable steps so that the gaps can be filled in the system. Education and awareness creation are two things which are very necessary. Now we will sum up our discussion. We have learnt about various schemes of the banks for providing credit to farmers. Credit, if used efficiently, it can bring prosperity to rural areas. Since the loans carry interest, timely repayment of the loans is very important. And our farmers need to be insulated against various risks like rainfall, drought, price variation, etc., so that they can repay the loans within time. And most important thing is that credit alone cannot solve the problems related to agriculture sector, so there should be a holistic approach including use of the technology. Thank you.